Good morning. There is a ton going on. I mean, we're all seeing it. We're all getting our news from wherever we're getting our news from, but there is no lack of information out there. So I understand how it can be overwhelming at times. And a lot of times, since though I'm just having a candid convo, I like to sit back and think to myself, am I being too much? I get 10 minutes to shoot a video and I try not to go too far off topic. I try to stay in the lines, hopefully keep your attention long enough to see where I'm coming from. There is so much happening. There are so many things that are affecting so many different places. And I've done the best job I think I can do currently. If I come up with better ideas, you'll see them, in labeling and titling my videos appropriately to you so you can kind of grasp where my vision is coming from. Get an idea. There's so much information that you can't fill it in a 10-minute window. But I do the best I can to correlate what I have, bring it to you as quickly as possible, and give you the meat and potatoes, essentially, of the meal of information that I'm putting out. Now it is February 12th, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, my following is getting there. Am I putting out enough videos? Am I doing right? I mean, I'm not a millionaire, and I do talk about, I gotta believe that my millennial group, my millennials, because I'm raising a Gen Z, and I have a Gen Alpha, so I'm sitting thinking to myself, hey, when I'm having conversations with my kids, I can see the look on their face like, Dad, how long are you gonna go? You're gonna go over and on and on and on. The attention span. How do I bridge the attention span gap? Am I collecting enough information, giving it to you in a way that you're like, okay, I'm excited to hear it, and I want to push it to the next level? I will not be on billboards. I probably won't be on TV unless you put me there. Like, that's the key. Like, this whole political thing is, if you go and look at what I'm putting out and say, hey, that candidate is saying that he wants to work for the people. And everything he's doing, one of the, he's going to come in office and he's going to say, hey, the people need a visual metrics to show their vote. Anything that we do, they're going to weigh in on it. We're going to go to the table knowing that they weighed in. And that's going to have to start counting for something visually where you can see that happen. I don't know how that's going to turn out. I honestly don't. But I do know one thing. If you are looking for a candidate that appeals to your needs, that means that you have to talk to your circle. And your circle has to talk to their circle and start that networking mentality. There is no individualism in our economy today. And I don't know how to express that any different. Everybody as a person is an individual, but in our economic structure, we are a collective. And the collective is still strong, and it's starting to point out where those strengths are going to be more favorable. The largest question is, are you in favor of helping the majority or the minority, and starting to break that out into what that really means in your life? Building that conversational structure. I am just like y'all. Sometimes I sit up and I will watch a TV show. I will, take a break, eat some snacks, turn off social media for just a minute, because it's so much information and so much not being done, and so many things that happen at the nighttime that no one knows about, nobody heard about. And now we're getting this influx of information, and we're all saying, how did we get here? The conversations do need to happen, but so does regular life. And not impeding too much on that regular life. But I'm going to tell you flat out, I'm just going to be as honest as possible. If you put me in office, I'm going to impede on your regular life. I'm going to put so much information out. I'm going to open so much information to where you can even look at things that I haven't looked at yet. Because we have got to put more eyes on to see where the problems are. If you go online and you search for things, you're like, well, where can I find out where all the money goes that I pay taxes in. You know, like, where is this? Where can I find out when I pay tolls how all that money is dispersed? I mean, down to what every department it goes to. There will be a ton of questions asked of me that I do not have access to that information. So I have to ask you to put me in a position at the top so that I can have access to all the information and put out more of what is really going on and how we're going to fix the issue. I think I said this in an earlier video. There's not a candidate on the American soil that is going to change immediately when they get in the seat everybody's problems and make everything good for everyone. It's not possible. That's why we have a structure in place. It took time to put all of this stuff together, and it's going to take time to reform a ton of it. If y'all notice, a lot of bills that come out have really good stuff in there and then some bad stuff that kind of gets sucked in there somewhere. And it seems like the bad stuff has the larger effect. We are just trying to clean all that up and say, hey, if we're finding out, if when we put this information out to all of the voting people, whether you vote for or against, and they come back and they say, hey, we can see that this is going to hurt us in the next 4 years, then I don't think it's cool to implement it, because that means that an individual who runs in office, who puts something into legislation that they're not going to be, that's not going to hurt them when the next person comes in, that's when all the stuff gets implemented. And then we get into these weird arguments about, well, under your administration, this happened, and under your administration, this happened. When the catalyst to it all has been that these people have put in things that collectively get pushed on to the next person. So you get the good with the bad. It's like they just want to have talking points. Well, look at what good I did during mine. I don't think you should be able to pass down really bad things that you know collectively are going to be terrible for people. And this is what we're seeing. So I'm asking you to say, hey, this governor is going to simplify the information. He's not going to dumb it down. You know, we understand that the English language has a myriad of definitions, but he's going to simplify what gets presented. Hey, these are the issues. This is what we found. This is what we're dealing with. This is how long you're going to have to deal with these problems so that you know. So if you have an idea that, well, I don't want to deal with that right now. Well, that's why we got the term kicking the can down the road, because no one wants to deal with it right now. But if you are the millions of individuals who are dealing with the problems that politicians have created, and I'm asking to be a politician, so I will fall into that. Whatever comes, I want to face it together, but tell you that, hey, we're going to struggle through this together. Well, you're not going to struggle like me, and you're not going to struggle like me. That's 100% correct. Individually, people are going to feel things differently. That's a fact. And somebody needs to say it flat out. Everybody's not going to have the same healthy experience. Everybody's not going to have the same nasty experience. But we're going to reform this together. I just need you to decide if you want someone that you can push, because that's what I want. I want to be pushed in the direction that you and your group that's networked out to this large entity are saying, hey, Florida needs to go in this direction. Because the majority of people said it needs to go in this direction because we feel like that's what's best for us. And you're going to do that because you not only said you are our candidate, you're showing us that you are our candidate. I'm in this for the long haul. This is a 2-year relationship until we get to voting, where my name will have to be written into that ballot. You're going to write Rodney Christopher Glover on that ballot. That's making me a household name. That's saying that my candidate's name is Rodney Christopher Glover. And that's who we're going to put in the governor position because he's working for us. He's not working for anyone else but the majority. That's why we're putting him there. And he's going to give us that voice, and he's going to implement our voice. You guys have a great day.